Hi everyone, welcome back to Physics with RJ. Now today in this video we are going to take a quick revision on electric charge. Last 4 या 5 क्लास में हम लोग जितने सब कुछ पढ़े हैं आज उसका थोड़ा शॉर्ट में रिवीजन कर लेंगे, ठीक है। सो द फर्स्ट थिंग इज व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय इलेक्ट्रिक चार्ज। इलेक्ट्रिक चार्ज का डेफिनेशन क्या है, हम लोग को पता है कि दुनिया में जितने भी इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक फेनोमेनन होते हैं, मतलब इलेक्ट्रिक हो या मैग्नेटिक हो, वो सबके लिए अगर कोई चीज़ रिस्पॉन्सिबल है तो उसका नाम चार्ज होता है। सो वी कैन डिफाइन व्हाट charge is that fundamental property of matter due to which matter can produce and experience all types of electric and magnetic phenomena. This is the simplest definition of charge. Okay, now next we will move into identity. मतलब charge का मतलब क्या होता है, charge particle का मतलब क्या होता है, what do you mean by charge? We know that in case of atoms the central part is called as nucleus and the nucleus contains protons and neutrons, and around the nucleus there are the orbiting particles which are called as electrons. So we have in general 3 types of subatomic particles, that are protons, electrons and neutrons, but out of them only protons and electrons are responsible for charges. That's why we can say the identity of charge means charge particles simply means electrons and protons. Next, the third one is what are the types of charge. In general charge is of 2 types, that is positive charge and negative charge. It is simply a sign convention which is used for charge by Benjamin Franklin. So the charge on a proton is taken as positive while the charge on an electron is taken as negative. Next, what is the difference between a neutral body and a charged body? So a body in general by nature the number of protons and number of electrons in each and every body is equal, and such a body is called as a neutral body. Means if number of protons is equal to number of electrons, then such a body is called as neutral body. But if the number of electrons is more or less than the number of protons, then the body is said to be a charged body. So this is the basic difference between a neutral body and a charged body. Now the question is, when a body is said to be positively charged and when a body is said to be negatively charged. A body is positively charged if it loses electrons, and a body is said to be negatively charged if it gains electrons. So a neutral body becomes positively charged or negatively charged, that is due to the removal of electrons or due to the addition of electrons. Okay, next we will move into what is the symbol represented which is used to represent charge. Generally the symbol Q is used to represent the charge. Next, charge is a derived physical quantity. Why? Because we know that electric current, we know the formula, but I is equal to Q divided by T. So we can get Q is equal to I into T. In SI system, as electric current is a fundamental physical quantity, so charge is simply a derived physical quantity. Okay. Next one is scalar nature of charge. We know that charge has only magnitude, but it has no direction. That's why you can say that charge is a scalar quantity. Next, what is the unit and dimension of charge? We know that the SI unit of charge is called as coulomb, okay, which is represented by the symbol C, but in some of the books it is also written as ampere into second. Means ampere into second is also called as coulomb. Why? Because Q is equal to I into T. Electric current has its SI unit ampere and T has its SI unit, time has its SI unit second. So ampere into second is also called as coulomb. So the SI unit of charge is coulomb, which is also written as ampere into second. And what about the dimension? Okay, once again we have to go through the CGS unit as well. We know that in CGS there are 2 systems which are called as ESU and EMU of charge, and also there exists a relation between them, and the relation is what? 1 coulomb is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 9 start coulomb, that is ESU of charge, that equal to 1 by 10 ab coulomb. Okay. Now what is the dimension of charge? As Q is equal to I into T, so we can write dimension of Q is equal to dimension of I into dimension of T, and we know that dimension of I is taken as A and dimension of T is taken as T. That's why the dimension formula of charge Q is equal to what? AT or simply A1 T1. You can also write AT. Okay. Now next we should discuss about the charge mass. Now what is the charge mass analysis? We know that if there is a mass, there may or may not be a charge, but if there is a charge, there will always be a mass. Means mass will mass can exist without charge, but charge cannot exist without mass. And once again, also during the process of charging, the mass of a body changes. How changes? Because we know that the process of charging involves addition or removal of electrons. When electrons will be added to the body, then obviously its mass increases, and when electrons are taken away from the body, then obviously its mass is decreases. Okay, so a body, when it is positively charged, its mass will decrease due to the removal of electrons, and when a body is negatively charged, its mass will increase due to the addition of electrons. Okay, and one more thing we have to remember, that charge on electron is represented by the symbol E, whose value is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 कूलम. ठीक है, सो ये हो गया चार्ज के बारे में कुछ फंडामेंटल थिंग. दीज आर द सम ऑफ द बेसिक थिंग्स रिगार्डिंग चार्ज. नाउ वी शुड डील विथ व्हाट आर द वेरियस प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ चार्जेस. हम लोग चार्ज की प्रॉपर्टीज़ के बारे में इंपॉर्टेंट 6 या 7 प्रॉपर्टी पढ़े थे, अभी उसको थोड़ा शॉर्ट में डिस्कशन कर लेंगे. व्हाट आर दोज वेरियस इंपॉर्टेंट प्रॉपर्टीज. सो द फर्स्ट प्रॉपर्टी सेज दैट additivity. We know that what charge is a scalar quantity, so we know the scalar quantities can just add up like real numbers, but charge is of two types, that is positive and negative. So while adding we have to take their sign convention as well. So additivity of charge states that the total charge on a system is equal to the algebraic sum of all the individual charges which are present at different positions in that system. This property is called as additivity of charge. Suppose we will consider a system which consists of 4 charges of magnitude minus 3 microcoulomb, 5 microcoulomb, 6 microcoulomb, and suppose minus 8 microcoulomb. If someone will ask you what is the total charge, then the answer will be minus 3 plus minus 8 plus 5 plus 6, that equal to 11 minus 11, that equal to what? 0. Means here the charge on a body is equal to 0, because the while adding you have to take care of sign also. Okay, now next is, what do you mean by quantization of charge? The charge on any body can't have arbitrary value. It can only have fixed value. It can have certain discrete values. What is that value? That is an integral multiple of electronic charge. So according to quantization of charge, the charge on any body is always an integral multiple of electronic charge. So in the form of formula, we can write Q is equal to plus minus n into V, where Q is the charge present on anybody, n is what? Number of electrons whose value is 0, 1, 2, 3, which is clearly an integer. n can't be fraction, n का value fraction नहीं हो सकता. और E क्या है? E is the electronic charge, that is the charge which is present on an electron. So this is quantization of charge, that is charge present on anybody is always an integral multiple of electronic charge, that is not a fractional multiple of electronic charge. ठीक है, उसके बाद now the third property, what is that? That is conservation of charge. Now the question is, what do you mean by conservation of charge? Charge can neither be created nor be destroyed, it can only be transferred from one body to another. That is, the total charge on an isolated system remains constant. Or we can also say that the total amount of charge before any chemical reaction, before any reaction, is always equal to the total amount of charge after that reaction or after that change. Okay, this is all about conservation of charge. मतलब Q total of a system is always constant, that is of an isolated system. Or we can say that what? Q before is equal to Q after. मतलब the total charge of an isolated system before and after any chemical reaction, that will always be equal to the same. Now the fourth property is what? Invariance of charge. Now what is the meaning of invary? That is, it doesn't change with the change in speed. That is, the charge of a body does not depend on the speed. Just like mass of a body changes with the change in speed, but the charge on a body doesn't change with the speed of the body. That is, the charge on a body when it is at rest is equal to the charge on the same body when it is in motion, that is Q rest is equal to Q motion. So charge is invariant, means the charge of a body does not depend on speed, that is the charge on a body is independent of speed. Okay, next fifth property, what is the nature of force between two charges? We know that there are two types of charges, that is positive or negative and negative. So when we will take two similar kind of charges, two like charges, two same nature of charges, that is both positive or both negative, then they will repel each other. So we can say like or similar charges repel each other. And if we will take two unlike charges, two opposite nature charges, one plus and one minus, then there will be attraction, they will attract each other. So we can say like charges repel each other and unlike charges attract each other. Next, electromagnetic theory of charge. Okay, Electromagnetic theory of charge states that we know that almost all of the electromagnetic phenomenon is due to charges. Now the question is, when electric phenomenon is produced and when magnetic phenomenon is produced. So this electromagnetic theory of charge states that when a charged body is at rest, it produces only electric field, but it doesn't produce any magnetic field, and also it doesn't produce any energy. It doesn't radiate any energy. But when the charged particle is moving with a speed, and that is a constant speed, that is, its acceleration is 0, the motion is unaccelerated, then in such a situation the charged object produces both electric field as well as magnetic field, but it doesn't radiate any energy. But when a charged particle is in an accelerated motion, that its speed is changing continuously, its motion is accelerated, acceleration is not equal to 0, then in that situation the charged particle produces both electric field, magnetic field, as well as it radiates energy. This is called as electromagnetic theory. Once again I am saying, when a charged particle is at rest, it produces only electric field but no magnetic field and doesn't radiate any energy. When the charged particle is moving with a constant speed, that is, motion is unaccelerated, that is, an unaccelerated charged particle produces both magnetic and electric field, but it doesn't radiate any energy. But when the motion of the charged particle is accelerated, that is, when a charged particle is moving with a variable velocity, its motion is accelerated, then it produces both electric field, magnetic field, as well as it radiates energy. Okay. Now last property, that is called as transference of charge. What do you mean by transference of charge? Charge can be transferred from one object to another object, and this transfer of charge actually means transfer of electrons, and charge always transfers from one body to the another body due to their term which is called as potential difference, and charge always flows from a body at higher potential to the body at lower potential until the potential of both the bodies becomes equal. Once the potential of both the bodies become equal, there will be no further flow of charge. Okay, so we can say charge is transferable, means it can be transferred from one object to another object. Now next, methods of charging. What are the various methods in which a body can be charged, in which a neutral body or an uncharged body can be charged? Generally we know that charging a body simply means addition or removal of electrons. Okay, so there are the following three methods, that is friction, conduction and induction, in which an uncharged body can be charged. Now once again I am explaining all of them one by one. First, charging by friction. Actually what happens, when two insulating selected bodies are rubbed against each other, then actually what happens, some of the electrons from one object will be transferred to the other object. That's why they will be equally and oppositely charged. Such a method of charging two objects just by simply rubbing them against each other is called as friction or frictional electricity. Next, there is a second method in which a neutral or an uncharged object can be charged just by putting it in direct physical contact with an charged object. Such a method of charging an uncharged body by putting it in contact with a charged body is known as what? Conduction. There is also a third method which is called as charging by induction, in which there is no need to put the uncharged body in contact with the charged body, even if the uncharged body can be charged just by keeping it at a distance from the charged body. Such a method of charging an uncharged body without putting it in contact with the charged body is known as what? Charging by induction. Okay, these are the three methods. And finally we were dealing with the continuous charge distribution. What do you mean by, so before continuous charge distribution we should first understand what is the meaning of point charge. If the dimension or the size of the charge is very small in comparison to the distance at which its effect is observed, then in such a situation that charge is called as a point charge. But if the dimension of this charge is appreciably high, if the dimension of the charge cannot be neglected in comparison to the distance at which its effect is observed, then such a charge is no more called as a point charge, rather than it is called as a continuous charge distribution. And once again, this continuous charge distribution can be of three types, that is linear charge distribution, surface charge distribution and volume charge distribution. What do you mean by linear charge distribution? When charge is distributed along the length of an one-dimensional object, then such a charge distribution is called as linear charge distribution. In this case we define a term which is called as linear charge density, that is lambda, that equal to what? Charge divided by length, that is lambda is equal to Q by L. This is for uniform charge density, and for non-uniform charge density, for non-uniform distribution of charges, we have the formula lambda is equal to what? dq divided by dl. Similarly, when charge is distributed over the surface of a two-dimensional object over an area, then in such a situation we say it as a surface charge distribution. In this case, we define surface charge density, that is sigma, which is equal to charge upon area, that is charge by area. So sigma is equal to q by a if the distribution is uniform, but if the distribution is non-uniform, then we write sigma is equal to dq divided by dA. And finally, volume charge distribution, when charge is distributed over the entire volume of a three-dimensional object, then such a charge distribution is called as volume charge distribution. In this case, we define a term which is called as volume charge density, that is rho, which is equal to charge per unit volume, that is q divided by b if the volume charge distribution is uniform, and if it is non-uniform, then you can write rho is equal to dq divided by dv. So it was all about the basic concepts of charge, means what are the properties of charges, what are the methods of charging, what kind of distribution of charge is possible, and the various important things related to charge. So इस वीडियो में हम लोग चार्ज के बारे में जितना कुछ डिस्कशन करने को था उस सबको शॉर्ट में डिस्कशन किया। आपको इन सब के थ्रू और एक बार जाना है, और वो जो प्रॉब्लम्स हमने लास्ट वीडियो में कराया था, वो जो 10 क्वेश्चंस उसी तरह के क्वेश्चंस वो सॉल्व करना है, ताकि आपका इलेक्ट्रिक चार्ज का जो चैप्टर है उसमें आपको कोई फिर से दिक्कत ना हो, क्योंकि ये चैप्टर एक बेसिक चैप्टर है। जब आप अभी हम लोग जब आगे मतलब पढ़ेंगे इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड के बारे में, इलेक्ट्रिक फोर्स के बारे में, इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल के बारे में, उन सब सिचुएशन में हमको चार्ज का जो बेसिक कंसेप्ट है ये सब कुछ बार बार यूज़ करना पड़ेगा। सो इसलिए चैप्टर के थ्रू अच्छे से जाना, और उसके ऊपर जो बेसिक्स न्यूमेरिकल्स हम लोग कराए हैं उसके ऊपर भी थोड़ा बहुत नज़र देना, ठीक है।